Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video we'll be unboxing the Nighthaunt Warband for Warcry. And here we go, here's the Warcry Nighthaunt Warband, and this is quite a recent release from Warhammer, and it looks awesome, and I love the idea of these kind of ghostly spirits on the battlefield. I think they'll be great fun to play against. So we can see from the box that in here we're going to get quite a few miniatures just from the picture on the front, and then taking a look at the back, it shows us we're going to get a total of 13 miniatures, and that's going to include these 4 Morn Banshees. We're going to get some Glaive Wraith Stalkers, that's going to be 4 of those as well. We're going to get an Extoller of Shyish and 4 Gust Reapers, and on top of that we're going to get 7 fighter type cards, our ability cards, and also the tokens. So in this video I'll open these up, we'll go through all the contents, we'll look at the different miniatures on the sprue, then we'll go through all the fighter type cards one at a time, check out the abilities, have a look at the tokens, and then we'll also take a look at the Bringers of Death Warcry supplement guidebook just to see what other fighters that we can use and if there's any additional fighter type cards included in that book, because if you've got a Nighthaunt Age of Sigmar army already, I think this is going to give you loads of options to use them in Warcry. Anyway, so let's get on with it. Let's get this box open and see what we get inside. So we're looking for this in the tab here. We're going to look for the rune mark. This is going to be our first look at the rune mark for the Nighthaunt, and I like that touch that they do, adding this to the little tab here, and there we go. That's a really cool one, looking great, so that's nice. And you can see this box is quite big, a lot bigger than the original ones. If we take a look at the Cypher Lords, you can see this box is almost twice as big, so you're going to get a lot more in here. And so opening it up, oh, this is good. So we do get a tray here. On some of the bigger ones there wasn't a tray included, and I really like this, having the tray to pull out rather than just open it and seeing the sprues. So that's nice surprise. And there we go, we can get rid of that box now. And here's our contents. So we get our booklet, and that's going to give us all the instructions, and then we're going to get double mini sprues, 1, 2, 3, and that one. So we're going to get 7 of these small sprues all together. So that's looking awesome already. And all the bases, or some of these bases have got the terrain already added to it. So that's really great. So we're going to get 8 bases, it looks like, with already moulded and ready to go. So that's awesome. And then we've got our other 5 bases there. And then we've got our pack with all the good stuff in. This is going to include our tokens, ability cards, and fighter type cards. Let's move that tray out of the way. Okay, so let's go through the sprues first, then we'll take a look at the book and the cards separately. So there's our 5 bases, we'll get those out of the way. And here's our first sprue, and this looks like it could be the Extoller of Shyish. And so there he is. And he's quite big actually, bigger than I thought it'd be. So that's going to be quite tall, looking at it there. And that's going to go on one of the black bases, by the looks of things. So that's that first one. And then this one is going to be either our Glaive Wraith Stalkers or our Gust Reapers. So let's take a look at that. And these are nice. I think these are actually our Gust Reapers, with some really nice detail there. And these flowing cloaks are great, with the chains as well, and the bell on the end. Really awesome. And this is nice here, where the cloak's mixed up with some kind of chainmail or links underneath. Some big scythe weapons. The faces. So these are really cool. And again, these are going to be quick to paint, so that's really good. We get these painted quite fast. I don't think they're going to take long to build here. It looks like just a couple, 2, 3, 4 components each. Nice and easy. Oh, this is nice. Another bell there. So that's our second sprue. And now we're moving on to this one, which is going to be, let me see, This one looks like it could be the Mayan Morn Banshees. And so this is great, getting these bases that are already formed with lots of detail. So that's going to save a load of time putting bases together. And these look great. The hands are tiny, so much detail there as well. That's really good. Oh, this one's good. Look at that with the dagger. So these are really great. I didn't think these were going to be as good as they are. I'm really happy with the bases. And there's a screaming one there. So these are looking great. Okay, that's our Mayan Morn Banshees. And now we've got our Glaive Stalkers. Again, they come with the moulded bases. I'll probably do these a similar colour scheme to the Sigmarite Mausoleum. I think that'll work nice. And these are great again. So much detail. The skulls there and the brickwork. I love the faces on them. They're really good. Some gates and fences. Include a drum. Wow, these are really good. Really nice. So there we go. That's all the sprues. So we've got 7 small ones like this in total. Okay, let's take a look at the book now. So this is our Grimgust Reapers, our Glaive Stalkers, our Mayan Morn Banshees, and we get that Extoller of Shyish as well included there. And here we are. Yeah, these are going to be really quick to put together. It's not going to take long at all. It didn't look like there was going to be much variety in the way of weapons for these. They almost look like the kind of underworld miniatures in how they're put together. There we are. We get a chance there of having another Grimgust Reaper or turning them into the Extoller of Shyish. I love the bell. It's got to be done for sure. And we got another option there. Yeah, these chains look great. I like those. And we get another option here with the drum or the weapon. I think for the purpose of the Warcry Warband, it's going to be the weapon. But we'll see if the card has any relevance in the fighter type card. Sorry, the drum has any relevance in the fighter type cards. And there's our Mayan Morn Banshees. Yeah, these are just as you see them. So really quick to put together. 1, 2. Add that onto the third bit, pop it in the base, and we're all good to go. And then we get a really nice colour guide, which I like, for all the different ones included. So there's a lot more colours than I thought were going to be included there. Certainly here. I didn't expect to see all these colours. But they'll be quite quick. And I think the contrast paints and the methods, the basic kind of tabletop battle ready method I use is going to suit these really well. So that's really good. And again, I'd like to see some contrast paints included in these here, and hopefully that'll come in the future. But for now, this is just a really useful guide. So that's our instruction book. And now we've got our pack with all the cards and tokens in. So let's get this open and take a close look inside. So we get our tokens, and these are all colour coordinated for the different Grand Alliances. So this is for the Bringers of Death. They're going to get the purple, which is a lovely colour. Really nice. And we get 2 of those, so that's good. Got our objective markers. On the reverse, you get treasure tokens. So you've got tons there to use. So that's nice. And then we've got our cards. Get rid of that. So here we go. Here's our ability cards. And these come in all different languages. We only need the English, so we'll put those to one side. And then we've got all our fighter type cards that are included. So we're getting 7 included, and our duplicates. And these are good if you've only got one fighter type card, but you've got a number of miniatures that you want to use for that fighter type card. You need to use these duplicates, or you can use these duplicates to keep track of all their stats throughout the game. So that's those there. So now we'll take a look at the fighter type cards one at a time. We'll start from the lowest points and work our way up to the highest. And then we'll take a look at all this individual stats and abilities one at a time. Okay, and here's our first card. And this is a Chain Rasp. And it's starting at 80 points. I thought these guys were going to be a lot lower. I thought they'd be around 50 starting. But we're quite high to start there at 80. And we get a movement of 5. Can take 8 wounds or 8 damage with a toughness 4. We've got our Warband Rumark here. This is the Rumark that means they can fly, and they get another ability rune mark here that we'll check in a second. And with this club, we've got a range of 1, can make 3 attacks, strength 3, dealing 1 to 2 on a crit. So not a lot going on here, not much for 80 points really, but let's see what the ability is, because that's maybe going to make up for it. So we'll look at our card. So all the Warband members with this rune mark here can use this ability, which is a double called Aura of Death. Pick a visible enemy fighter within a number of inches of this fighter equal to the value of this ability. Until the end of the battle round, subtract 1 from the strength characteristic to a minimum of 1 of attack actions made by that fighter. A fighter can only be targeted once per battle round by this ability. Okay, so the dice for the double decides the kind of distance we can use this ability on, and it's just going to reduce the strength characteristic by 1, and so it can only be used once per battle round as well. So I guess these guys are scary. They kind of put a bit of fear in the enemy and reduce their strength. That's the first double playing into the narrative there. And then we've got another rune mark here, which is this double called Chilling Horde. A fighter can use this ability only if there is a visible friendly fighter with the minion rune mark within 3 inches of them. Add 1 to the attack's characteristic of attack actions made by this fighter until the end of their activation. Okay, so this is the minion rune mark, and these guys have got to work in like a kind of pack, I guess, like a little team going on, and they've got to be quite close together, so within 3 inches of them, and then they can add 1 to their attack's characteristic, so they can make 4 instead of 3, and they're still only going to have a strength 3 dealing 1 to 2 on a crit, but it gives them that extra chance, and it's only a double, so that's really good. So I guess these guys are pretty terrifying, and they work in little groups, so that's the kind of direction we're going in with these. And this is our first fighter type, the Chain Rust. And next we've got our Glaive Wraith Stalker, and we're jumping right up to 120 points here, so really quite high starting out. And for that we get a movement of 5, can take 10 wounds with a toughness 5. They've got the flight rune mark there, and with their spear weapon there they've got a range of 2, can make 3 attacks, strength 3, dealing 1 to 3 on a crit. So they're not doing a huge amount of damage there. They've got the flight ability, which is useful, and then they've got that double Aura of Dread, but that's all they've got going on for 120 points. That's not a lot really, so not too much really going on there, but that's our second one, and that is our Glaive Wraith Stalker. Our third fighter type is the Grim Gust Reaper, and at 135 points, this one's got a movement of 6, can take 10 wounds with toughness 5. Got a rune mark here, so we've got an ability and the flight ability, and with the Psi weapon we've got a range of 2, can make 3 attacks, strength 3, dealing 1 to 4 on a crit, and we haven't seen this ability yet, so let's check that out. And so he's got the double Aura of Dread, but he's also got this new one here, which is on a double called Soul Marked Prey. Pick a visible enemy fighter within 3 inches of this fighter with 1 or more damage points allocated to them. Until the end of the battle round, add 1 to the strength characteristic of attack actions made by friendly fighters that target that fighter. A fighter cannot be picked to be the target of this ability more than once per battle round. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So he's got to be close within 3 inches, chooses one, and then they, as long as they've taken some damage, they're going to take more damage by everyone attacking them. So you can add 1 to the strength characteristics of all attack actions made by friendly fighters on that target. So that's really cool. So that's not bad for a double. And it looks like we've got another one here on a quad called Reaped Like Corn. That's a cool name. Allocate a number of damage points equal to the value of this ability to all visible enemy fighters within 3 inches of this fighter. So this is great. If you're rolling 5s or 6s for this quad and you're in amongst the enemy all within 3 inches of you, they're going to get a serious amount of damage there. So that's pretty cool. So that's a nice quad there for this one. And that's our third card. And that's our Grim Gust Reaper. And now we're on to our Mine-Maw Banshee. And she's at 145. She's got the flight rune mark and the warband rune mark. So no extra abilities apart from the one that comes with the warband, the Aura of Dread. And she's a little bit more with her movement. She's got 6, can take 10 wounds with a toughness 5. She's got a range of 1 with that dagger, can make 3 attacks, strength 4, dealing 2 to 4 on a crit. So I guess the flight ability here is going to have to be used a lot to make the most of these pursuing the enemy. And then with only just that 1 warband ability, there's not a lot going on here for 145 points, but she can make 4 attacks, strength 2 to 4. So there we are, that's that one. And now we've got a Dread Warden, and this is 150 points. And it looks like we're getting a few more abilities now. So he's got a movement of 5, can take 16 wounds, toughness 4, not quite as tough though, but he's got some more things going on here. He's got that flight one, which is nice, and some others there, so we'll take a look at those in a second. But with his weapon, he's got a range of 1, can make 3 attacks, strength 3, dealing 2 to 4 on a crit. So let's look at those abilities. And again, like all the members of the warband, on a double, he's got Aura of Dread. So here we go, on the double he's got that Chilling Horde that we've already seen, but there's a new one here on a triple called Spectral Summon. Pick a friendly fighter that has been taken down. Set up that fighter once more on the battlefield, wholly within 3 inches of this fighter. The fighter set up on the battlefield no longer counts as being taken down. Remove a number of damage points allocated to that fighter equal to the value of this ability. This is great. So we can bring some back from the dead here, although they are dead always. So and then if you get like 5s or 6s, you can take a lot of damage points and give them back to them. And that's really cool. And for a triple, I really like that. So this guy's got to be included in the warband if you can get the miniature. So that's really great. And that's our 5th fighter now. Now we've got our Extoller of Shyish, and this is 195 points, and we've got the flight ability and that leadership ability rune mark. We've got a movement of 6, can take 20 wounds with a toughness 5 with the side weapon or the big bell. Then we've got a range of 2, can make 3 attacks, strength 3, dealing 2 to 4 on a crit. And then let's check the abilities again. We've got that double Aura of Dread, and then the triple Spectral Summon, which is a really great ability there. So that's a nice easy one. That's our 6th one, and this would be one we can use as our leader. And here's our final card at 220 points. This is a Spirit Host, and these have got a movement of 5, can take 30 wounds with a toughness 5. They've got the flight rune mark and another one that we haven't seen yet. And with their weapon, they've got a range of 1, can make a whopping 6 attacks, strength 3, dealing 1 to 4 on a crit. So this is nice. We're getting a lot more attacks now as the points are going up. So we can make 6 here, which is really good. And this one can also take a bit of damage, which is nice. But the output isn't great at 1 to 4 for that many points, I don't think. But let's see what the ability is. And again, we got that double Aura of the Dread. But with this one here is a triple called Frightful Touch. Until the end of this fighter's activation, count each hit from attack actions made by them as a critical hit instead. Oh, I like this. So this is a triple, and as long as they hit, they're all going to count as critical hits. So if you can make 6 attacks and a number of them hit, they're all going to be like dealing out a damage of 4 if you can treat them as a crit. So that's massive. So if you've got this triple here, that's really good. So that's an awesome ability to use. And then if you can add to your attack characteristic here with someone next to you on a double, so if you get a triple and a double, then this guy can then make 7 attacks. So that's awesome. So you can make 7 attacks, potentially dealing 4 for every hit. So that's awesome. I really like that one. That's a Spirit Host, and that's our final fighter for this warband. Great, so that's all our fighter type cards that are included in the pack. And not all these fighter types are actually included as miniatures though. So this one isn't, and this one is, this one isn't, this one is, this one isn't either, this one, and this one isn't. Sorry, this one is. So of all those cards, we're going to get 4 included in the miniatures and 3 that you'd have to pick up miniatures from somewhere else if you wanted to use those. Now let's take a look at the Warcry Bringers of Death supplement guidebook, and we can see all the different fighter type cards that are included in it for the Nighthaunt. And this starts on page 24, and it gives you a nice double page with a bit of background and some narrative for the warband, which is really nice. It's great what these books include, and it's not too much to read through, but certainly enough to give you a flavour of what they're all about. And then on here it includes all the fighter abilities and all the leader abilities, and now there's some new ones here that we haven't seen in the cards that come with the Warcry Warband. So we haven't seen Beheading Strike, Stolen Hours, Phantasmal Discorporation, Unholy Light, or Captured Soul Energy. So there's a lot of new abilities there. And then as far as the fighter types go, they've got 6, 12, 18, 21. We've got 21 fighter types. So we get cards for 7. So there's an extra 14 here that we can use. So that's awesome. So if you've got a Nighthaunt army, or you want to use some extra miniatures and build your warband with a bit more variety, this is where you can pick up all the fighter type cards for those extra models. It's well worth picking up. And I've done a separate video on this, so you can have a really good look through the book and see what's included and see if that's something you're interested in. I'll also put a link in the description of where you can get that. So that's everything we're going to get in the Warcry Warband pack, and a little look at the book just to see how you can expand that. There's also some options of picking up some cheaper miniatures with the Mortal Realm subscription, and the option to order some of the previous issues on back order. So I'll put a link below in the description to a video that I've done on that, introducing you to Mortal Realms, and then you can see if that's something you're interested in. And that's certainly a great way to pick up some of the Nighthaunt, because it's packed with Nighthaunt miniatures from $7.99 and even cheaper if you can find it on some other websites. So what do you think about this warband and this Warcry set that's come out? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you've been playing Age of Sigmar, I imagine you might have a big army of Nighthaunt that you could certainly bring into Warcry quite easily here. So let me know what you think. For me, these are really great, and they're better than I thought they were going to be. I was really happy to see those bases already formed and ready to paint. So that's really nice. They don't look too powerful on the stats here and the fighter type cards, but with that Spectral Summon, I really like that as one of the abilities, and it'd be interesting to see how they're going to play. I can't wait to get them built and painted, so I'm looking forward to seeing how they're going to go against some of the other miniatures and other warbands. I really hope this video has helped you out and given you a good insight into what you get in the box and how the additional supplement book can add to your warband and help you use your existing armies to get started with Warcry. I'll put links in the description to this Nighthaunt Warcry Warband set and the book, and you can follow those links to Element Games, and there'll be affiliate links, but they won't cost you anything extra. In fact, they're going to save you money up to 20%, and for every sale made through an affiliate link, I'll get a small commission, and I can use that to develop the channel and provide loads more content. So thanks so much for that support. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching the video. Please like if you like it, subscribe for more content like this, and don't forget to hit that notification bell to join me next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games.